Good morning and welcome to the third meeting of the 2026 session of the House Standing Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protections. Just a reminder, please silence your cell phones. If you're interested in testifying, please sign up the sheet at the podium next to the door. And testimony is within the chair's discretion based on time constraints and information already provided. We do have a quorum, so go ahead. Do roll call.
Representative Blanton. Present. Representative Camille. Representative Dossett. Present. Representative Freeland. Representative Fugit.
Here.
Representative Gooch. Representative Hart. Representative Johnson. Here. Representative Lewis. Present. Representative Maddox. Representative Massaroni. Here. Representative Proctor.
Present.
Representative Roberts.
Here.
Representative Sharp.
Present.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Thomas.
Present.
Vice Chair Bratcher. Here. Vice Chair Wesley. Here. Ranking Minority Member Moore.
Here.
Chair McCool.
Here. Again, we do have a quorum and duly constituted to do business. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to ask the Representative Thomas to do that, and followed by a prayer by Representative Roberts.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering, and we ask that you let your wisdom guide us as we do the business of the Commonwealth. We thank you for our first responders, for those in the service. We ask that you keep your watchful, safe eye over them. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Okay, we're going to flip the script just a little bit here and ask Representative Cook to come up and first talk about House Joint Resolution 44.
Concurrent resolution. It's a concurrent resolution.
Concurrent resolution. Please introduce yourself and your guests, and then you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Matthew Cook, represent the 72nd District. I'll let my guests introduce themselves.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. John Blumstrom, Marine Corps veteran, here on behalf of Veterans Guardian and member of the National Association for Veterans' Rights.
Peter O'Rourke, also a veteran of the United States Navy and Air Force. I'm the president of the National Association for Veterans' Rights and the former acting secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Michael King. I am representing United Veteran Benefits Agency. I'm retired Army, and I live in E-Town, and I'm here. We're also part of National Association for Veterans' Rights.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know time is of the essence, so I'll get right to it. This is nothing new for this group. It's this same bill. The very similar bill passed this through the House 94-1 in the 2024 regular session. This is about veterans' rights and opportunities. And as a veteran myself, I recognize how complicated these claims can be. So it is extremely important that you have the right help as you navigate this difficult system. Nobody wants veterans to be taken advantage of. And that's why we have clearly established a set of parameters of which every organization must follow. These parameters will shut down the bad actors while allowing veterans to choose what works best for them. First and foremost, this bill does absolutely, yes, sir.
Are we doing 44 or 508?
Oh, sorry, this is on the resolution.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
So let me talk about that resolution first. Thank you, Representative Johnson. As we've discussed, and we're going to discuss this more in 508, accreditation is a big issue that keeps coming up. And I've listened to that. And all of us at this table completely agree that accreditation is important. And that's why we have filed this resolution that encourages Congress, specifically Congressman Jack Bergman, 3-star Marine Corps General, to follow through to start an accreditation program for these private companies. Right now, it's not that there's no law that says they can't. They said they've never been allowed to do that. And so we urge them to create an accreditation program, and that's what this resolution is about.
Motion on the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comment about the resolution? Okay, no questions or comments? Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative Blanton.
Aye.
Representative Bratcher. Yes. Representative Camuel. Representative Dossett.
Yes.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Fugit.
Yes.
Representative Gooch. Representative Hart. Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative Lewis.
Yes.
Representative Maddox. Representative Massaroni.
Yes.
Representative Moore.
Yes.
Representative Proctor.
Yes.
Representative Roberts.
Yes.
Representative Sharp.
Aye.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Representative Wesley. Yes. Chair McCool.
Chair votes yes. House Joint Resolution 44 passes with favorable expression and should do the same in the House.
Could I be recorded as a vote yes?
Yes. Thank you, Representative Cook. Since we have you here, could you go ahead and talk about?
Back to the regular scheduled program. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. I got a little excited this morning, so thank you, Representative Johnson. First and foremost, House Bill 508 does no harm to any of these veteran service organizations. I respect all these men and women behind me and what they do with their veteran service organization. These are great Americans, and I appreciate all the work that they do, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. They helped my father out with his Vietnam, with his Agent Orange and the Camp Lejeune drinking water, so I understand that very well. If you have one of these VFWs, DAVs in your hometown, they're going to continue to be able to do this work for you. But there's too much of this Commonwealth where they don't have access to a good one or one at one period. So let me quickly go through this bill, and then I'm going to turn it over. Front page, 12 font writing, it says that they must notify the veteran that those free services are available. They have to tell them that orally, and it's got to be in signature. I can't make it any clearer than that. No initial or non-refundable fee shall be charged. Fees shall not include interest, shall not exceed the 5-time 1-month increase in benefits, and it does have a cap at 12.5. They shall not use international call centers or gain direct access to any of your personal information. Take your attention to the top of page 3 and read the disclosure that must be presented orally and in writing to that veteran. This year, we've added a reporting piece that any groups that receive the compensation must report this to the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs. And finally, this is very important because I know there's a lot of rumor mill and everything floating around. We've excluded attorneys. We did this in the very beginning. This is not something we did out of a lawsuit. We've known from the beginning. We've excluded attorneys or law firms from this bill. We recognize that they are accredited and we cannot control what they charge. Okay? So that's what's going on with Louisiana with the Supreme Court ruling. That's the difference with this bill. I'm going to let these gentlemen give their piece.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman McCool, members of the committee, good morning. As I stated, my name is John Blumstrom. I am a Marine Corps veteran and work in the veteran benefits assistance space, helping veterans navigate the complex VA disability system. In addition to my policy work, my professional journey has also included time in the bourbon industry, where I served as a steward and ambassador with Diageo. That experience gave me opportunity to spend meaningful time with Kentucky veterans, working with families across this great Commonwealth and in the broader region. Many of the conversations I had, whether in veterans halls, community events, or around a tasting table, were veterans trying to understand or access the benefits they've earned. Did my best to help vector them toward free services like the VFW, like the American Legion, like their county veteran service officers. Sometimes that is just not enough. I come before you with a simple perspective shaped by service, experience. Veterans deserve protection, transparency, and choice. Kentucky alone, our work has supported over 1,200 individual veterans, helping them get real money going into local communities, paying mortgages, covering medical care, and supporting families. But beyond the numbers, these veterans, who often try to navigate the system alone or through the free services, still felt overwhelmed. Many come to us after many months or years of frustration. HB 508 strikes the right balance. It does not eliminate free services, not force anyone to pay. It simply sets guardrails so veterans can make informed decisions while being protected from bad actors. Accreditation does not equal competence. There are one VSO for every 3,500 veterans here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And for anybody, that's simply too much for too many people to do too many things. All we are asking for today is choice that be protected and allowed in the great Commonwealth. Louisiana was the first state to enact similar legislation under what was then called the PLUS Act. That law was later challenged by an accredited attorney who argued that federal law governs attorneys' fees and certain disclosure requirements could not apply to federally accredited representatives. The legal takeaway was not that consumer protections are wrong, so that the state laws must clearly respect the federal framework governing agents or attorneys. Kentucky HB 508 does exactly that. It carves out clarifying that nothing in the law applies to federally accredited agents or attorneys, that avoids the legal conflict Louisiana faced, and ensures that focus remains where it should be, regulating unaccredited actors while preserving veterans' rights and federal authority. That is thoughtful policymaking. These are common sense standards any ethical organization should support. This is not about business interests. It's about veterans having options in a system that is often difficult to navigate. Removing ethical assistance doesn't help veterans. It limits their choices and can leave them stuck in a backlog or forced into costly appeals. As a Marine and as someone who works with veterans every day, I believe the right approach is not restriction, but responsible oversight paired with choice. Kentucky has the opportunity to lead with a model that is both veteran-centered and legally sound. Thank you for your time, your service to the Commonwealth, and your commitment to Kentucky's veterans. Thank you for the opportunity.
Chairman and committee, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. Again, my name is Michael King. I retired after 21 years of active duty in the U.S. Army at the rank of Sergeant Major. Shortly after my retirement, I got my initial VA rating, which had gone through the installation and all that process. It was not even near what I felt it should have been. As I kind of navigated life after the military, I became a nationally accredited VSO through Vietnam Veterans of America. And I stood up a Veteran Outreach Center in Western Massachusetts. I was the only accredited VSO in my entire county. And I was very, very overwhelmed with folks. My training was less than great. Unfortunately, at the very beginning, was submitting claims that shouldn't have been submitted, just because the lack of knowledge and experience and continued training and resources that I had where I was, which is very unfortunate. I later was asked to consider working for a private company doing similar work. Said I was very much in denial for quite some time, but finally I relented and said, let me check out the operation. And I was very, very pleased with how the process went, looking at the entire veteran from head to toe and talking to them about their service and their individual story and how their injuries occurred, and making sure that essentially there's a full picture understanding of what is going on. And folks were actually getting amazing results. I myself, once I started working there, I had a lot of epiphanies, a lot of eye-opening moments, and realized that what was missing was that continued training, that support, and so forth. Getting into the CFR, getting into M21-1 and the different regulations that the VA has governing claims. And it's absolutely amazing seeing how we can help change people's lives with simple guidance and knowledge, because we do it every day, versus the veteran who doesn't do it every day and is trying to understand the process. There is no service out there that is one size fits all. It's just not the case. VSOs are great people. They do great work. They're often overwhelmed. They may not be able to handle more complicated claims. So there's got to be other options out there. I really, really believe that choice is important, especially for those of us who fought to maintain our ability to make choices.
Motion on the bill.
Thank you.
Nobody want to hear from a guy from DC. Come on.
Well,
Oh, you know what?
yeah, please.
I was going to say you don't
No.
want to hear from a guy from DC anyway, so that's okay.
If you don't mind, just make it very brief if you don't mind,
Sure.
because we're going to do a time limit on this.
Understood. No, as I said, Peter O'Rourke, the president of the trade association these gentlemen are part of, fully support this bill as we do across the country, and appreciative of you considering it and considering your veterans and the plight that they go through, but also the opportunity that they have. It's not all a sad story. I mean, very encouraged by what veterans are able to do, especially when the VA does right by them and helps them out, and the rest of the resources are there. So thank you for doing this, and look forward to supporting you after you pass this bill and supporting veterans, because I think there's a lot we can do after this too.
Thank you very much. And we do have a couple of questions. Representative Mazzaroni.
First, I want to thank the VFW and the American Legion that's here. I'm a member of both, and we do appreciate you. But I also want to thank the sponsor. I know veterans deserve choice. They sacrificed. They fought for that choice. So I just appreciate you for bringing this bill. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick question. And this is for Representative Cook. Are these third-party vendors, for lack of a better term, are they operating today?
Yes. And a follow-up on that is the worst action, it's the what now, Lieutenant? No action is indeed an action. And it's not the right action, right? If we don't do anything, those bad actors will continue to operate. We can't stand for that.
So the bill isn't authorizing actions by these people. It is actually instead limiting what they can and can't do.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We did have some people sign up to speak. If you don't mind, just step aside for a few minutes. Darrell, would you come up? And I think you got about 3 other gentlemen with you.
No, those three gentlemen, so just with one person.
Just Darrell? Okay. Please come forward. Did you have anybody else with you, or are you good?
Just me. Well,
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
brothers and sisters behind me, but it's just me.
Please introduce yourself for the record. And
Good morning, everybody.
Again.
Daryl Casey. There we go. How about that? Try again. Good morning, everybody. Senator Representative McCool, House members. My name is Daryl Casey. I'm a 33-year veteran, 4 combat deployments overseas. I'm also the legislative chairman of the Joint Executive Council of Veteran Organizations, known as JECVO. I think you guys have probably heard of us. And all we're simply asking is this. We're asking that Kentucky follows the federal law, not make a state law. I mean, I don't really know how else to say it other than that. JECVO, which represents the over 250,000 veterans in this state, opposes 508 as it's currently written. And the reason we do that is simple. There's no mention of no fees for initial claims. No fees for payments of future benefits. For example, 5 times a 1-month increase. Let's talk about that. Well, if you're a veteran and you file a claim and you go from 0% to 100%, that's almost $4,000 a month. Okay? Times 5 is dang near $20,000. Well, the cap is $12,500. Okay, well, if your back pay is only $5,000, where does the rest of that money come from? It comes from the pocket of that veteran. And that money that they receive for that claim is for wounds or illnesses that they sustained while serving and defending this country. That is not money that needs to go to somebody else other than that veteran. The simple answer to this, and the elephant in the room, and the thing that nobody really says is be VA accredited. It's not difficult. There's Google how to be VA accredited, and it points out the path very simply and very clearly. It doesn't take a lot of time. If some of these bigger organizations spent as much money on their employees to get VA accredited as they did lobbying, this wouldn't be an issue. That's all we're asking, is to be VA accredited. That's what's going to keep predatory companies out of the Kentucky veterans' pockets. There are states that have passed similar bills to this, Alabama being one, Oklahoma being one, and Louisiana being another one. Well, the interesting thing about Louisiana is that on February 6th, a federal judge struck down that law. It very clearly states that Congress intended for only qualified, accredited individuals to work with veterans on filing their VA claims, and as such, the bill violated the Federal Supremacy Clause. States can't trump federal law. And that's basically what 508 is, a mirror image of that Louisiana law. So there is also a bigger company out there that is a advising and consulting firm that is under a Department of Justice whistleblower investigation. That is not who we want to have helping Kentucky veterans. Multiple class action lawsuits, whistleblower Department of Justice investigations against one of the biggest pre-filing consulting companies in the business. That's not who you want helping our veterans. JECVO wants veterans to have options for filing VA claims. We understand that some of these veterans don't have access to VFWs, to American Legions, to service organizations. We understand that. We don't want to kick anybody out of doing this job. We just want them to play by the doggone rules that are in place and not make profit off of veterans' wounds and illnesses. If you take money from back pay, hey, that's back pay. That's money I never had in my pocket. I'm not missing it. But then when you start forcing veterans to dip into their pockets to pay for this, that's where we have the issue. Look, we thank Representative Cook for his service and for his intention to look out for the best interests of Kentucky's veterans population. While House Bill 508 attempts to do this, it falls short in true protection to our veteran population. JECVO, as the organization that represents all Kentucky veterans, speaks as one voice in favor of one of two things: either an amendment to this bill that requires accreditation specifically for any nonprofit, or for any, let me do that again, requires accreditation specifically for any for-profit company that assists, consults, advises, prepares, or files claims for a veteran. In other words, to follow the federal law. I ask you, how can that be a bad thing? That's all I've got to say about that. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your service and your time.
Thank you.
We do have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Representative Bratcher has a question.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody else in the room for their service. And we're, while we're evaluating, trying to figure, we all want to do the right thing, right? So, I do have a question for you on this bill. You're saying it doesn't go far enough, that you want it to be to have everybody be certified, right? Is that?
Yes, sir.
It does do more, but it doesn't go as far as you want it to go.
Correct, sir. All we're asking is folks to be VA accredited.
So it does put more things in place that you wanted, but doesn't go as far to the extent that you want it to go.
Absolutely correct, sir. But if this bill would be amended to include VA accreditation, I can tell you that JECVO as an organization would be behind it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We also have Representative Johnson has a question.
Thanks, and this is actually for the bill sponsor. While I've got you there, thank you. I'm proud member of in Owensboro, and
yes, sir.
Appreciate everything they do. If every organization around the state could be as effective as my organization in Owensboro, we probably wouldn't need this bill. But that may not be the case. So
I
I want to
understand.
thank you before I ask the bill sponsor to come back up. Appreciate your efforts.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate your position on this as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Representative Cook, if you come back up, I think Rex Johnson has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Representative Cook, we've talked a couple of times about the Louisiana bill, and I think maybe we need some clarification on that because clearly there's two different points of view on this. So I think it's worth discussing that in a little more detail, if you could, please.
Sure.
I'm going to actually turn it over and let the detail man get
Yeah. I think the way to look at the Louisiana law is in the broader context of how you're being asked to look at this today. There are an existing group of folks recognized by the VA to represent veterans in the prosecution preparation of their claim with the VA, which simply means you sign a power of attorney with somebody that works your claim with the VA for you. They have access to your files, your system. They work with the VA to get your records. Those folks are accredited by the VA every day. This is a normal process we've had for a couple decades now. The law in Louisiana, as we were trying to put in the guardrails for these third-party companies, vendors, did not exclude, under their state law, those currently accredited, whether they were attorneys or representatives. So in that sense, that law was actually changing federal law in a sense to say these people, had these different restrictions. So early kind of technical change that need to be made there, and we're still at this point working with the state to hold that decision and amend their current law to make it just like the other 6 states that have passed this law and what is including Kentucky's. That's Louisiana. The broader issue about accreditation, and it doesn't frustrate me. I understand the confusion around it, but I simply say if there was a path for these for-profit companies to be accredited today with the VA and operate as a for-profit company, then there would be no reason for General Jack Bergman to be pushing a bill for 2 years now to build a accreditation process at the VA for them to follow. So I understand that there's two sides of it. The challenge is that if you force accreditation on these companies, they will not operate on the state because they can't function as a for-profit company when you can't take a fee. If you don't like that, I understand that, and I know that's the position of some of the veteran service organizations. I think we can all work together on this, but at the current time, that doesn't seem to be a path we can go down. But
that's also the reason why we passed the House resolution, urging them to pass that.
Just a quick follow-up, if I could, Mr. Chairman. So just to make sure I understand what I'm hearing is that you're not necessarily against accreditation. You just don't think the process is in place to make it work properly right now, and we need to keep working on that to make that happen. Is that fair?
Yes, sir. We've been working on building an accreditation scheme there for 4 years now.
Okay. So I'm hoping that somewhere there's a middle ground in there between you guys and the guys sitting behind you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll shut up now.
Thank you. Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Cook, and thank you to the VFW for your input on this. I just wanted to ask in terms of the accreditation issue, would you be open to amending this law once passed, once Congress creates an accreditation process for these entities?
Absolutely. When Congress passes that, I'll be the first person in here making sure that we pass that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. No more questions. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative Blanton.
Aye.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Camuel. Representative Dossett. Yes. Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Fugit.
Yes.
Representative Gooch. Representative Hart. Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative Lewis.
Yes.
Representative Maddox. Representative Massaroni. Representative Moore.
Permission to explain my yes vote.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I want to thank all those who have served, who are in the audience today, and those who speak from JECPO and from VFW and all this. I want to make sure that we are not letting perfect be the enemy of good or perfect be the enemy of better. And I think I'm going to consider an amendment along the lines of what was proposed here today, and maybe that becomes an unfriendly amendment, but I do think that what Representative Cook is proposing here, he says it, and then again, this was honestly spurred by Vice Chair Bratcher's question. This seems like it moves the direction forward. It makes the situation better here in the Commonwealth because this is already happening and you're just trying to put some guardrails on it. And so I'm going to be a yes vote today because I do think that better is good, even if it's not perfect, and record that yes vote. Thank you.
Representative Proctor,
Yes.
Representative Roberts,
Briefly explain my vote, Mr. Chairman. So this one is a issue that I go back and forth on. My grandfather's a Korean War veteran. He was shot in the line of duty, and he had several missed out benefits. And one of these entities that this bill would regulate was one entity he approached. He never signed an agreement with them, but also he was never informed about the free services. And he never signed the agreement due to the commission issue. He thought it was outlandish that he would have to pay for that. I ended up helping him get it taken care of, and he started receiving bills from that entity that he never signed a contract with. This bill at least puts up guardrails. It ensures that there are avenues on it. It is a step in the right direction with that assurance about if a federal accreditation program emerges, that will be added to be required on this. I'm a yes with that.
Representative Sharp,
Aye.
Representative Tackett Lafferty, Representative Thomas,
Aye.
Representative Wesley. Yes. Chair McCool.
Yes.
I'd like to record my presence, and I'm a yes vote as well.
House Bill 508 passes with favorable expression. Should do the same in the House. Thank you very much, Representative.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to step aside and ask Representative Wesley to come forth. I've got to step to another room and do a testing. So, thank you all very much.
Good morning. It's good to see this representative up here with this bill. We're going to go ahead and get started. You want to introduce yourself, Representative?
Yes. And I think we have someone that was on Zoom, maybe, that's zooming in. I'm Representative Candy Massaroni from Nelson County, District 50.
My name is Lauren McCubbins.
You can proceed.
Okay. House Bill 335, it's a familiar bill. We passed it out of the House last year. It's a simple bill that would allow schools or other government facilities to have an anti-choking device and remove the liability to kind of align with the Good Samaritan laws we already have. Super simple bill, and if you don't mind, I'm going to let my guests say a few words.
My name is Lauren McCubbins. I'm here today to tell you about my incredibly special son. My son's name is Landon Willard McCubbins. Landon was the best big brother, son, grandson, and any friend that anyone could want. Landon was a protector of all kids. Landon befriended the children that struggled to make friends. There was not going to be a child left out when he was around. To know Landon was to love him. Landon loved to read with his Nana, and he started loving basketball. Landon loved to ride in the truck he picked out with his Pep-All. He was a bright light to many in this world. Landon tragically passed away at Boston Elementary November 21st, 2022 at only 8 years old. The absolute worst day of my life. Landon choked on a bouncy ball during class. Landon had a nurse and firefighters on scene when he choked, and he still died. I sat and watched him stop breathing and CPR being performed in that school. We are not asking that you skip all other emergency protocols. We are asking for proper training and to allow anti-choking devices in schools to use when there is no other options. Those emergency protocols failed my sweet boy, and there was not an anti-choking device in the school to even try to save him. My son may still be alive had there been. We are here today hoping that this never happens to any child again. My sweet Landon deserved better, our children deserve better, and they deserve a chance that my son did not get. I pray every day that no parent or grandparent must sit helpless and watch their child die on a cold classroom floor like me and his Pep-All did. I want to end this with something for you to think about. If it was your child, your niece, your nephew, your grandchild, or anyone important to you was dying and there was a piece of equipment to give them a chance to live, would you want it there? I would give anything for my son to still be alive, and I will do everything in my power to save another child. Landon's death will not be in vain. Thank you for your time.
We're really sorry for that tragedy, and we appreciate your testimony this morning. Representative, you want to show the committee?
This is all the devices. In the bill, it will have, if they have it in schools, they will need to watch a video on it, or even in the device, they have directions that they can read prior to ever needing it. Super simple. It's like a plunger. And it's not mandated. The schools do not, it's a local control issue. They can decide if they want it or not, so.
We have a question this morning. Representative Bratcher.
Yes, Representative Mastroianni, thanks for bringing this up. I think this passed unanimous in the last session last year. And so you did testify that there's a program where schools can get one free. Is that still available?
LifeVac last year, and I think they still will. We may have them on the Zoom call. They offered one to any school in Kentucky that would want one. That was for free.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Is there any more questions? All right, Mr. Secretary, we'll go ahead proceed with the roll call.
Representative Blanton.
Aye.
Representative Bratcher. Representative Camuel. Representative Dossett.
Yes.
Representative Dotson.
Yes.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Fugit.
Yes.
Representative Gooch. Representative Hart. Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative Lewis.
Yes.
Representative Maddox. Representative Massaroni.
Yes.
Representative Moore.
Yes.
Representative Proctor.
Yes.
Representative Roberts.
Yes.
Representative Sharp.
Aye.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Representative Wesley. Yes. Excuse me, Chair Wesley.
Man, we appreciate you coming today, and Representative, we thank you for House Bill 335 that passes favorable. Looking forward to being on the House floor.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Committee.
Next, we're going to call House Bill 436. Representative Tom Smith.
Check, make sure that was a number.
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Tom Smith, representative of the 86th District. And first of all, thank you for your service here on this committee. My father and brother both were veterans. They've passed, but my father was a career Navy man, and my brother was a commander in the Navy, so I'm proud of what you do. This bill, 436, is actually for some veterans. It was brought to me this summer. It's a program that's called PGA Hope, and it actually deals with our veterans that have an opportunity to go through a program and be able to mingle, interact, and spend time with other veterans. And also, this is operated by the PGA of America. There's served over 65,000 veterans since 2015. They have 624 program locations across the nation. So I'm proud to say they're in Kentucky, and they're doing a great job. And what this does is it gives a veteran the opportunity, after they go through this 6 to 8 week program, they'll receive a card. And after receiving the card, they'll be able to go to our state golf courses or state parks and be able to play and only have to pay a cart fee, which I've served on a board for a golf course, and that is an expense that they pick up that most golf courses lease the golf carts, so that's an automatic expense to them every year. So it's really picking up the main expense. And then that's anywhere from $15 to $25, $30 per player. So they are receiving anywhere from $40 to $60 when they do this round of golf. But this program actually is a up and coming, and it's very strong. And I'd like to ask the committee to support it. And
second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions? All right. Mr. Secretary, we can go ahead and begin with the roll.
All right, Representative Blanton. Representative Bratcher. Representative Camuel. Representative Dossett. Representative Dodson.
Yes.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Fugit.
Yes.
Representative Gooch.
Yes.
Representative Hart. Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative Lewis. Representative Maddox. Representative Massaroni. Representative Moore.
Yes.
Representative Proctor.
Yes.
Representative Roberts.
Yes.
Representative Sharp.
Aye.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Representative Wesley. That's did it again. Chair Wesley.
House Bill 436 passes with favorable expression, and looking forward to seeing it out on the floor. Thank you, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
We have another announcement here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A lot of members of this committee are on the Veterans Caucus. I just wanted to remind you that we've been invited to participate in a Military Battlefields Trust lunch that's this afternoon in Annex Room 113 from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Again, that's 113 at 11:30. Thank you.
We have another announcement. Military Kids Day is Thursday, February 19th. Please contact Donna Holliday if you have any questions. All right.